Welcome, everyone, to the trial of the century, maybe? Little Miss Goldilocks is on trial. I am DJ Tershon, otherwise known as your narrator / Toastmaster. Let me give you some background, and then I'll tell you how this will all play out. Goldilocks was out walking in the woods, I believe it was July 15th, when she came upon a cottage. She entered the cottage allegedly without permission. She looked around and smelled a delicious smell. On the table were 3 bowls of delicious porridge. Not everyone likes porridge, but apparently Goldilocks did. She realized she was hungry and took a seat to taste the first bowl. The chair was too big. And she moved to the next, and the soup was too, or not the soup, the porridge was too hot. So she moved to the second bowl. The chair was just right, but the soup was too cold. I don't know why soup and porridge is interchangeable here, but apparently it is. She moved to the third chair. It was too small and it broke, but the porridge was just right. She was hungry. She ate it all up. She was full and sleepy after her walk and meal, so she looked around and found 3 beds. She lay down on the first one and it was too hard to get comfortable. She moved to the middle bed and it was too soft. She tried the third bed and it was perfect, so she lay down and went right to sleep. Full belly porridge, it'll do that. When the bears returned home, they found Goldilocks fast asleep in Baby Bear's bed and the mess she had made in the house. She is now on trial for breaking and entering and malicious mischief. We have 2 attorneys with us in the house today. We have an prosecuting attorney and the defense attorney. They have various witnesses. They will each, when I turn it over to the judge will let them know when they get to make an opening statement, 1 to 2 minutes. Then they will each call on their witnesses, have a chance to call on the opposition's witnesses. Then the judge will have them make their closing comments. At which point, you, the jurors, get to decide whether Goldilocks is guilty or innocent. So with that, I would like to turn it over to our judge. Now, I know we can't all rise for the judge, but we can raise our hands and say, all hail to the judge, Miss Angela Shute. Take it away, Madam
Court
Judge.
is now in session. For the prosecution, I'd like to call our chief prosecutor to the stand for your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the facts of this case are clear. This is a breach. This is a breach of the sanctuary of home. You'll hear elements of curiosity and precociousness and innocence. That's not what this case is about. It's about a door that was opened that should not have been opened. It was an invasion of personal space, a threat to food security, destruction of personal property, a family heirloom that was given to Baby Bear by his grandparents, total disregard for the personal sleeping space of the Bear family, and then, when discovered, a total lack of remorse, no apology, running from the home without taking any personal responsibility, and then personally benefiting from her escapades. This is a case of mischief for money, a grab of attention-mongering followers and videos and book sales, and trying to convert rupturing the innocence of the Bear family into personal gain. Our witnesses will lay this case out carefully, and it is for you, the jury, to decide whether this was a precocious mistake or a calculated play for attention. Our first witness is Cinderella. I'd like to call Cinderella to the stand, please.
Hello, Cinderella here.
Cinderella, what was the nature of your relationship with Goldilocks?
Well, my relationship is actually with the three bears. I have a history, as you know, of house cleaning. I'm probably the most famous house cleaner in all of fairy tale land. And I have been moonlighting with the three bears just before the alleged crime, just before Goldilocks broke in and destroyed their home that I've worked hours and hours to clean. That's my relationship to the crime.
Mhm, mhm. How did you hear about the crime after it occurred? Who told you about it?
Well, of course, Mama Bear told me about it right away because I'd been in there on a daily basis cleaning and keeping house for them. And of course, she was very out of sorts because of all the damage that had been done and the disruption.
And what did she tell you about her feelings or reaction to this break-in?
Well, yeah, of course, completely violated. I know that first of all, the food not only was consumed out of every single bowl, but also the mess left strewn across the table. And of course, the beds were a disaster. Who wants to come home and know that someone else has been sleeping in your own bed? It was just so egregious for
Wow.
Goldilocks to have come in and done that to them.
Thank you for that. That must have been very traumatic.
It was.
Our second witness, I would like to call Gretel to the stand, please.
Hi, this is Gretel.
Gretel, what did Goldilocks confide in you relating to her plans to invade the bear's home?
Well, she said she was thinking about doing something precocious, and of course, I reminded her of what happened when I had to actually kill an intruder. So I warned her against it. I think she should have known better. I told her what I had to do to somebody who had broken in. I had to kill the witch, and when she was talking about maybe doing something that might be a little illegal, I reminded her about what happened and told her to be very, very careful about what she did.
Mhm, mhm. How did she respond to your warning?
She didn't say much. She just kind of looked around like she was really thinking about it. But she didn't tell me one way or the other whether she was actually going to do it or not. But I sternly warned her against it.
Gretel, did she make any mention of her plans to turn this into some kind of a social media extravaganza and to have literature drawn up on this and 34 languages possibly to be published worldwide? Did any of that come to light?
She didn't mention that she wanted this published in many languages, but I do know that she loves social media and she has posted a lot of things before. And I do believe that is a joy of hers to spread her, uh, you know, what she's doing, what's going on in her life in social media.
Hmm.
But she didn't mention specifically that she was going to, mention this.
Thank you for that, Gretel. Appreciate that. I would like to call Miss Badwolf to the stand, please.
Ms. Bad Welfare.
Miss Badwolf, what did you see on the day of this illegal home entry?
Well, I was out and about trying to find the perfect meat for dinner that night. The bears and I have been friends for many, many, many years. I do not like bear meat. And I did have a recipe I wanted to try for my new book. And it involved a human liver, with fava beans. Yummy. Now, I did not manage to get Goldilocks. She did go into the bear's house, and I, as a great friend of theirs, decided to step back and let them deal with it. I don't think that's a bad thing, but my husband is worse. And overall, it ended up being, whatever it was. I never got my human liver that night. However, I did later on. Oh, yes, you can't prosecute me. It wasn't in your territory. But I wanted to say my new book, Green Chili Bible, has many, many recipes in it, including liver and fava beans.
Thank you, Miss
Chief.
Badwolf.
Thank you, Chief Prosecutor.
Appreciate that. We did have, Your Honor, we did have a late arrival of a very important witness for the prosecution. Big Bad Wolf is also here in the house. I'd like to call Big Bad Wolf to the stand, please. Big Bad Wolf.
You will be permitted to do so.
Big Bad Wolf, how long did you know the Bear family? Big Bad Wolf, bring up your microphone, please.
Here we go. Is that better?
That's really, really perfect.
Okay, yes, thank you. I've known the Bear family for quite a long time because, to be perfectly honest with you, bears and wolves, we've been persecuted for millennia, right? So we kind of go way back. So that's they've been pals. That day I was gonna be out there foraging for some food, and then I was gonna join them that day. Yes.
And did you actually see the illegal entry by Goldilocks on that day?
No, I didn't actually witness the break-in, but I think I saw an aftermath. I thought I saw Gretel and Goldilocks giggling together. I thought they were giggling, and I heard something about how, if you just know the right place to go, you can get yourself a free lunch.
Hmm.
Oh, and then no, another important piece of evidence. I thought I saw Goldilocks. I thought I saw something on her shirt. It looked to me like perhaps porridge or something, or like something like that. I wasn't positive, but I think so.
Thank you very much for that, Big Bad Wolf. We appreciate that. Our final witness, Your Honor, is Toto. Toto, if you come to the stand, please. Toto, you have a unique perspective, different view than everyone else. What is it that you saw in the woods that day in the Big Bear family?
Woof, 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 woof. Woof, 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 woof. Woof, 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 woof. Woof, woof.
Toto, can you turn on your woof to English translation so that the jurors can get the full benefit of your testimony?
Yep. Okay, how is this? Is this better?
Perfect.
Ah, wonderful. So what did I see in the woods that day? I saw Goldilocks wandering around and muttering to herself about how hungry she was. And wouldn't she love to have a nice big bowl of porridge? And a nice little nap too afterwards would be just the right thing. And I'm like, oh wow, what a story that would make if I just stumbled upon this wonderful bowl of porridge and a tidy little bed to sleep in afterwards. That would be just the thing. So I heard her all the way through the woods, and I followed her, wondering what she would stumble on, because this is the woods, and saw that she had wandered upon the Three Bears house, and in she walked.
Did you see her running after she was discovered by the Bear family? Did you see her exiting the home?
Oh yes, yes I did, and she took off like a witch on a bicycle on a
And,
mission.
and the final question, can you characterize what her mood or her energy level was as she was running away? What did you see?
She seemed to be very full of energy, as one might after having a nice full meal and a quick rest. She seemed very proud of herself and very eager to escape from notice.
Thank you for that. No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Thank you, Chief Prosecutor. I'd like to call
Point of order. The
yeah.
prosecution had more witnesses than the defense has here. And I understand, I got on very good authority that Baby Bear also had a couple of family members there to maybe even out the number of defense witnesses. Because
Yeah, that's correct. I've got the whole family with me here in the room. They like to stay kind of like out of sight, though. It's hunting season, but if you need Mama Bear or Papa Bear, I can go grab them.
That
So
would be great.
the defense attorney can make note of that because there's 3. We just
Mama
heard from
Bear,
5.
Papa Bear, and Baby Bear.
So you
to
can
be
call on
added
all 3 of them.
to the defense witness schedule. Thank you. May we please call to the front, our defense attorney. Please take it away.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, everyone, and jury, and distinguished guests. This is an absolute misunderstanding. We heard that on July 15th, Goldilocks broke an entering. Well, if we go back to July 15th, you'll remember that there was a horrible, horrible tornado and rainstorm. And what you may not remember is that Goldilocks is an amazing hiker. In fact, she's hiked all of the mountains in our land. And while she was walking on these trails, she saw lightning that struck down trees, and she talked to forest people, and the forest people told her, if you keep walking up the pine path, you will find a group hostel, a place where you can seek shelter. Now, Goldilocks had experienced many, many different types of weather while she had hiked all over the land. But this was something so extreme. And was she shocked and afraid? Absolutely. Wouldn't you be shocked and afraid if you had been walking for 50 miles with no food? And what you don't know is that the door was actually blown open, which we'll hear from some of the people that I'm going to call on, the witnesses will talk about this. And Goldilocks, yes, she did run screaming from the house. Why did she run scream from the house? Because she was experiencing PTSD. And if you read her book, she does talk about how PTSD has changed her life. And she now teaches yoga to people to help them in situations. She also has talked about ways in which that she can give back to the community. So I will rest my case at this, and I'm going to call my first witness. And I would like to call Little Pig number 2, the bricklayer.
Actually, I think we ended up changing some names for you here. The Little Pig is now Baloo from the Jungle Book.
Okay, sorry about that.
Sorry.
Okay, okay, we're going to call Baloo from the Jungle Book.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening. I want to thank you for being here. And, you know, I know that you had indicated that you knew about the weather that evening. And would you talk a little bit about what you told Goldilocks about where the hostel was located?
I can do that. I I told her, I said, look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean, the bare necessities or Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities to life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees to make some honey just for me. You look under rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few. You just gotta look for the bare necessities. That's what I said to Goldilocks.
Thank you so much with your enthusiastic answer. Very much appreciate that. And do you recall on the map that you keep on your wall where many people stop and ask you for directions, would you recall where the bear's house is in relation to the forest hostel?
I'm not really great on directions. I just told her, I said, you just gotta look for a happy home, and you gotta make yourself at home, and don't be afraid. Just go inside and have some fun. That's what I said. That's the motto of my life.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you coming here tonight.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. The defense would now like to call on the Bear family. I
Yes.
first would like
Baby Bear in the house.
Thank you, Big Bear. I really appreciate you taking this time. And I want to just apologize for any emotional, mental, or physical trauma that Goldilocks may have unintentionally caused you during this ordeal. I first want to ask, when you entered the home after Goldilocks was there, did she seem startled, please?
Oh yes, she seemed startled. I will say that as the father of the family, the thing that I'm the most concerned about is respect for the rules and discipline of our bear society. And one of my very top rules is eat it while it's hot. And I don't know why we had to go wandering off after making fresh porridge, waiting for it to get cold. But we did, because we got to get our steps in. So when we returned from our walk, I was a little extra perturbed that the porridge had been eaten, and that a chair had been broken, and that heirlooms were rifled through. So I woke her up with a bit of Big Bear energy. So I would say she was startled. Yeah.
And Papa Bear, could you imagine how it would feel to be a lonely girl lost in the forest, frozen, cold, looking for food, and how this could mistakenly be a very innocent accident?
Yes. Once again, I can understand. I've actually had that snack a number of times. The Lost Hiker Special is what I like to call it. And they always do seem very scared and eager to find something. So I can understand any port in a storm, yada, yada. Not that I know much about ports. I'm a forest bear. Maybe my cousin, the polar bear, would know about ports, but there you are.
I would really like to thank you for your compassion and your help today. Thank you, Papa Bear. Please express our concern and our deep empathy to your family.
Yes. Thank you very much. I suppose you want to talk to Mama Bear next?
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
All right, let me get her for you. Oh, well, hello, this is Mama Bear.
Good evening, Mama
Fresh
Bear.
back from vacation. I got my hair done in Hawaii.
Oh, it looks really beautiful. I want to thank you so much for appearing tonight on such short notice.
It's a pleasure. Happy to be here.
I can't imagine what it feels like to be in charge of a family and then feel it be disheveled. But I do want to ask, you know, you all did seem to leave in a hurry. Are you sure that you locked the door?
Well, I most certainly am not sure that we locked the door because I left it to Baby Bear to do it. You know, Baby Bear, ever since he came home from college, is just not set on helping out around the house. So I give him the littlest task to take care of. Baby Bear, will you please lock the door? Baby Bear, will you please clean the bathroom? Baby Bear, will you please go shopping for hibernation? You know, just the simplest things. And Baby Bear just doesn't seem to have it in him to get the tasks done. So when I asked Baby Bear to lock the door, I could see him being a little forgetful and maybe not even closing it at all.
I really want to thank you for your honesty. And as the parent
We're all
of
trying
Baby,
hard in the Enchanted Forest, but sometimes you just got other things on your mind. What with all the frozen weather and winter coming and everything.
absolutely. And with your permission, because we do have to ask permission when we call on a minor to testify in court, would you be willing to have Baby Bear speak for Baby Bear's self?
Oh, well, absolutely. Let me get him back on here. Just hold on just a moment.
Thank you.
Yeah, what's up? This is Baby Bear.
Hi, Baby Bear. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the day of July 15th.
Uh-huh.
And you may remember it was a very cloudy day and there was lots of storms going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you and your family were going out for a walk just to let the porridge cool. And as
Papa
you
said,
left,
eat it while it's hot. Papa always said, eat it while it's hot. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but you were saying.
and as you were leaving the house, are you 100% sure that you locked the door?
I'm not 100% sure that I locked the door. See, well, ever since coming home from college, what with the economy and everything, I've got so much on my mind. I can't find a job, and you know, I'm really trying hard. But who can think of all these things like doing dishes and locking doors? You know, I've got my future to think about.
I want to thank you for your honesty and for being here today. It's a very serious crime that Goldilocks has been charged with, and we really want to make sure that we don't send the wrong person to prison or to punish someone who's not punishable. So thank you for your admiration. You're certainly learning a lot at college. Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here. And, you know, if there's something that I can say about eating other people's food and sleeping in other people's beds, I mean, my cousin broke into some people's house in Montana and slept in their house for like a weekend. And I kind of get it. So I know we have to uphold the rules of the Enchanted Forest. But as a bear that eats pizza crust out of dumpsters, we're all doing our best, right?
Thank you. I'd now like to call Little Red Riding Hood to the stand.
Good evening, Madam Defense Attorney.
Good evening, Little Red Riding Hood. Now, I know that you were helping your grandmother when Goldilocks was running by your house. Did you see the horrible storms that evening?
My Madam Defense Attorney, what good questions you have. I did see Goldilocks running through. I saw the storm. I know what it's like to be in the forest during a storm, during the night. I had trekked through the forest with the baked goods that my mother had sent with me to go and visit my grandmother, and I saw her bolting for her life. The woods are a scary place, and people who are accusing this pillar of our community with this egregious crime have clearly never spent time in the woods to know that any warm home with a hot bowl of food in it, the forest does something to you. And it was a terrible night that night. And I believe so much in my friend Goldilocks's innocence that I am here with in the very room of the same prosecutors who affected my family. The charge of breaking and entering is one that has deeply affected our family. And it is difficult to talk about, and it is difficult to be here. But I am so strongly a believer in my friend's innocence that I come here in defense of her.
I want to thank you for that. And I have a follow-up question, Little Red Riding Hood, which is the allegations of the press and the media and the social media, and those who have actually read the books and have seen the social media know that it's a lot about surviving PTSD and using yoga to help people and misunderstandings. And in one social media post, you were with Goldilocks, and it was the one that was on the Enchanted Forest headline news. And in that social media post and that interview that you and Goldilocks did, you talked a lot about your experience with being lost in the forest as well. Can you tell us about that actual video post, please?
Madam Defense Attorney, I believe that this is cancel culture come to the Enchanted Forest. You have someone who is a pillar of the community who is doing their best to help people who are trying to overcome things that have happened to them, who have wandered in, and it is being blown out of proportion. One mistake is now enough to ruin a pillar of this community's life because of cancel culture, because people want to make a headline and make a story about it and capitalize on people's mistakes and bring those to the forefront. And to me, this is cancel culture at its finest. And that's that.
Thank you. I very much appreciate it. And now, Your Honor and distinguished members of the jury, I would like to call to the stand Goldilocks herself.
I think you have one more witness. The lion.
The lion. Okay. Before calling Goldilocks, I'd like to call the lion to the stand, please.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Defense Attorney. I am the king of animal kingdom, and I have the respect of many of the animals in the nearby. And it is in my judgment that there is no evidence that Goldilocks had malicious intent to get publicity for her book or to get money. There is no evidence in anything that has been said in this courtroom. It also seems very unlikely that this girl could have consumed the food of 3 bears. How could she? How could she have done that? There needs to be compassion for this girl, given all the conditions that were described today. In fact, I would say that she should be invited to stay longer and be offered more safety and food. There is no evidence of any malicious intent or wrongdoing. A lot of the accusations have been baseless. How do you know she intended to do this or she was eager to do that? There is no evidence. There are no compassion. I've not heard any compassion for this girl.
I would like to thank you, king of our area, the Lion. You know, I know that you have been elected mayor many times and are so appreciated, and your integrity is worth all of that.
Thank you,
So,
Mama.
thank you. And may I call on Goldilocks to the stand? I'd like to call Goldilocks to the stand. Goldilocks, it's time to tell your story.
Thank you, ma'am. Defense attorney, I'm ready.
Can you tell us about the night of July 15th, which everyone is just dying to hear your version of the story, the truth, that is, not the fairy tale.
Yes, ma'am. It was a very, very cold day for the time of year because it got dark very, very quickly and the skies turned really very dark. It was very windy and I was really scared. I saw the winds and I heard stories about Dorothy and in The Wizard of Oz, and I heard horrible stories in the past. I heard about lions and tigers and bears, and I heard about big bad wolves and all those horrible things. So my first thought was I was going to die. I didn't know how to get home, and I just wanted to find the closest place so I could be safe.
And you had been told by many of the forest people to go to the forest hostel, true?
Yeah, they told me, they said, find a place that's warm and that's going to be able to give you a comfort. And so I found a cottage and it had the door wide open, a big welcome mat. And so I thought I could come inside.
And the door was open, true, please?
Yes, and I also knocked on the door, but I didn't hear anybody answer. But the mat said welcome, so I thought that meant it was okay for me to come in.
And can you describe your shock and awe when you were startled by these bears?
Yes, I was so scared when I woke up from my nap because I had some porridge, and my mama always told me if you go home into someone's home and they have warm food, you should accept it. It's rude if you don't. So I filled my tummy up with the porridge, and I didn't want to go to the bed because I wanted to sit and wait. But I saw one of the chairs, it was wobbly, and that was the one that was best for me. But then I broke it and I didn't mean it. And then I went to lay down because I was really, really tired. It was a long day. And then there was a bear, a very large bear. And I think it was Papa Bear that came up and startled me. He had big teeth and then he was drooling and it scared me and he growled at me. And all I could think of is the storm and all these things that reminded me of scared stuff. And I just ran, and I ran as hard as I can. And I know some people say I looked like I was full of energy, but I really was just running on adrenaline. I think I was so scared.
And you have been diagnosed with PTSD based on this incident, yes?
Oh, yes. Especially because I heard all those horrible stories about all the bad things that happen in the woods, and especially Little Red Riding Hood and her story. And I couldn't even go to sleep at night without having really, really bad dreams. So I was able to work through that and feel like I could make the world a better place. So I did take up the yoga, and I'm much calmer and I could help calm other people. And I also learned never to disobey my parents, because I never intended to do anything malicious, and anything of mischief I've ever talked about with my friends or Instagram or Facebook was to take pictures of things in the forest when my mama told me to come home, and I was just thinking I could stay out later and take pictures of fun things like the fun mushrooms I found and the berries on the trees, and sometimes like the chipmunks and stuff. I had no idea that this would become a big spectacle and books would be written.
And her time is up for the defense.
Thank you. The defense rests at this time.
At this time, we will give each of the attorneys, the prosecuting attorney first, and then the defense attorney, an opportunity to cross-examine the witnesses from the other side. 1 minute max each, please. I call you don't have to do them in order. You don't have to call all of them. You choose which ones you would like to cross-examine. And let's start with our chief prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a question for Little Red Riding Hood, please. Little Red Riding Hood, you mentioned that Goldilocks was a pillar of the community twice. How is it that a 9-year-old can be a pillar of a community?
Chief prosecutor. What a short-sighted question you ask. Age is nothing but a number. Being a pillar of the community in a magical forest has nothing to do with an age. It has to do with the morals that you bring, with the energy that you bring, with the heart and the intent. In a magical world where there's talking wolves and lions, one doesn't necessarily have to be 18 years or older to make a difference in the community.
Thank you for that. Lion, I would like to ask you a question, please.
Sure.
You made a reference to there not being any evidence of anything, but you yourself are very active in social media, as we all know. We also know that when it comes to standing up for something that you believe in, that you tend to run away and not be counted on. Is it not true that you have engaged in extensive social media with Goldilocks on numerous occasions, and that you are well aware of her quest to add followers, and that you're a big supporter of hers in the what was formerly Twitter and is now X, and that you're actually a big proponent of following and posting on her behalf?
With all due respect, I don't see the relevance of this to the case. Whether I am or am not familiar with her social media activities, what has this got to do? It doesn't necessarily implicate that she is done this for the purpose of increasing her social network. What is the relevance?
The relevance is the personal gain that she is after and the notoriety of her escapades. That would be the purpose of that.
But
I would like
how
to
do you know? How do you know that?
because
How
of
do you know that
because of
she's
the
after?
because of the content that she posts, and because of the quest and in the way she brags about her followers and things like that.
But that hasn't got to do with this particular case.
We'll leave it at that. Thank you for that. Baloo the Bear, I have a question for you, please.
Okay.
Isn't it true that you have seen posts of Goldilocks smoking cigarettes and holding a can of beer?
I don't recall any such posts as that. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that was Goldilocks. I thought that was, I'm trying to think who that was, but I don't think that was Goldilocks. That might have been someone who was posing as her. Because we get a lot of posers right now in this world. We don't have real authentic people. We have people who want to pretend that they're people. You know, we need some real people. But I don't remember seeing no 9-year-old girl smoking cigarettes. Not Goldilocks. She wouldn't do that.
And a final question. Thank you for that, Baloo. And a final question for Mr. Bear, please.
Yeah, you got Papa Bear here.
Yes, Papa Bear, your entire family's testimony, besides not appearing in discovery and being a last-minute play by the defense to try to garner sympathy for Goldilocks, your family brought the claim of breaking and entering to this court. Are you mocking the court, or are you placing a claim? Are you withdrawing your charge of breaking and entering into your personal property and making a mockery of this proceeding? Or are you standing by your accusation that there was breaking and entering on your property?
Well, you see, you have to excuse the timeliness of bears around now because there's a lot to do getting ready for winter. See, back in July, when the initial incident came to pass, we were just laying around in fields, drinking honey, sipping on syrup. We had nothing but the whole summer to look forward to. So it made a lot of sense. But now everyone's ready to be bundled up and maybe put all this behind us. But that doesn't go without saying that Goldilocks did cross into the enchanted forest and she did break our chair. You know, that chair, I don't have thumbs. It's hard to build furniture when you don't have thumbs, you know? And sipping on the porridge, come on. You're like, yeah, we have stuff out for the guests. That's what all the acorns out front are for. But man, the porridge, it was hot. Eat it while it's hot. You know, so I guess we're conflicted because we don't know if we want to press charges or let the poor lady go. We don't want to ruin her life, but we just want a little more respect for the.
Thank you for that. That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Okay, defense attorney, please cross-examine at will.
Okay, I would like to call Cinderella to the stand again.
Yes, ma'am.
Cinderella, you testified earlier that you had to clean up the mess that Cinderella left behind and that you've known the Bear family for a very long time. And you also, as I see in the records here, have cleaned the hostel that is right next door. Could you imagine that a mistake could be made because they look very similar in size and they're very closely located?
Well, honestly, that is something that I had not considered. And I suppose, yes, when you put it that way, that mistake could have happened.
Thank you. No further questions. And I would like to call Gretel to the stand again, please.
Hello.
Hello, Gretel. In your earlier testimony, you talked a little bit about how Goldilocks wanted to do something bad, how she was, wanting to get into some trouble. And I'm curious if, there might be, I know that you have a daughter about the same age as Goldilocks. They might not get along very well. Or do you still stand firm on that statement that she wanted to get into mischief that day?
Well, I've known her for a long time, and she does have this little twinkle in her eye. She's gotten in a little bit of trouble with my daughter and her together. She is very mischievous, and she I wouldn't doubt that she was maybe is smoking a cigarette even at 9 or taking a sip of beer. I know that about her. So I do stand by my statement. She looked like she was maybe looking for a little trouble.
Okay, well, thank you for your perspective. No further questions. And I would like to call Toto to the stand. And Toto, would you just put on that that Wolf to English translator again so we can hear you? Thank you. Thank you. Now, I happen to know that Goldilocks has helped you out of many jams in your life and has actually taken care of you over the years. Can you talk about the last time that Goldilocks took you on a trip and what that was like and her character?
Yes. Yes, she has indeed taken me on quite a few trips, and she procured a bicycle very similar to one that I grew up in sadder times for me. She set it up with a beautiful basket for me to ride along in with her, and we went through some wooded trails, and she let me bark as much as I wanted, and it was quite lovely, I will admit. We had some good times going on our wooded adventures.
And just a follow-up question on that, knowing what you know of Goldilocks and hearing the prosecutor and hearing the testimony, do you believe that this could indeed have been an accident?
Well, I suppose there could be some misunderstandings with what exactly happened and what we all saw. Sure, possibly.
Thank you very much. No further questions. The defense rests, Your Honor.
At this time, we would like to open the opportunity for both of the chief prosecutor and the chief defense attorney to give their closing statements. Please limit your closing statements to 2 minutes each, and then we will move to see what our jurors think, starting with our chief prosecutor.
Thank you, Your Honor. There have been some distractions in this trial. We talked about a storm. We heard about PTSD, unsubstantiated reaction. We heard a distraction from the Bear family, a baby bear who suddenly couldn't recall the importance of an heirloom broken chair or their comings and goings. There's a lot of things that would make us think that there's no certainty here in what happened on July 15th. The jury needs to ask themselves a question. Is a breach of a personal sanctuary a breaking of the law or not? There was a lot of talk about this being mistaken for a hostel. It does not look like a hostel. There is no signs that it's a hostel, and it's improbable that that was the case. The defense attorney asked on numerous occasions, was the door locked? Was the door ajar? And it was conflicted testimony of whether the door was open or closed. What difference does it make if you cross the threshold of a dwelling that you do not belong in? We were asked to believe that Goldilocks was in that house to seek shelter. If she was seeking shelter, she wouldn't have tried all the food. She wouldn't have broken the chair. She wouldn't have tried all 3 beds if she was merely seeking shelter. And most of all, when the bears returned, she would not have run. And running out of the house, acting like she was the victim here, is to try to shift the blame from where it really lies. This is not about punishment of a young person. This is not about what should the penalty be. This is a simple case of, did Goldilocks go into a personal space, a personal home, and invade a personal sanctuary that was not hers to break into? It's just that. It's up for you to decide where it goes from here. Thank you.
And now our defense attorney will have her opportunity for closing statements.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had submitted this earlier, which is the map to the forest with the hostel, and then the picture of where the bear family lives, and you can see that they're very close together. If you go down Pine Tree Lane, this is a case of misunderstanding. This is a case of a little girl who's lost in the woods, trying to find her way to a safe place. And those of you of the jury who've ever traveled to a hostel know that when you walk in, there is a table full of food and you are allowed to lie in the bed. How could she know at 9 years old that this was not a hostel if she had never experienced it before? You have her doubt. And in a trial, what we talk about is are you 100% certain? I would say not. We cannot be 100% certain that Goldilocks did indeed intentionally break and entering. Her character witnesses tell the story. And so you, the members of the jury, your distinguished service, we ask that you do the just and right thing for the Enchanted Forest and find Goldilocks not guilty. Thank you.
Thank you. Jurors, it is your responsibility to take what you have heard today in this court of law, and only what you have heard today in this court of law, into your decision whether this defendant, Goldilocks, is innocent or guilty. You may not use what you have heard on the news, what you have read on social media, and what you have read in the newspaper, what your friends have told you, and what your family has told you. You may only use what was presented to you today as evidence. You will need to decide for yourself if there is 100% sure that she is guilty or 100% sure that she is innocent. In this court of law, you are innocent until proven guilty. Has the prosecution delivered that evidence to you? Has the defense offered enough of a question? You will decide. You will each receive a secret poll. The poll will be innocent or guilty. We will be a few minutes, and then we will let you know the response of this poll. Can you let us know when the poll will be launched?
One moment. I'm going to make everyone who's not a juror a co-host so they don't get the poll. So
if for any reason we have a technical glitch, I'm going to ask each of you who are not jurors, if you do accidentally receive a poll, please do not respond. Jurors only. It'll be in your hands, the fate of this decision of this courthouse, this court proceeding. When you're ready, release the poll, and we will ask for silence as the jurors post their decision.
I will send it in one moment. And The poll has been launched.
If you are a juror, please be sure that you vote.
We have it looks like everybody has voted. And let me send you the verdict, Madam Judge.
There's no jury foreman, is there?
There is not.
I can see the poll.
Oh, can you? Okay, good.
I can.
Although we have 11 jurors. Oh, I guess everybody can see it according to Cinderella. So there you go. Go ahead and announce it, Angela.
The decision by jurors, which is her peers, trial by peers, innocent, 7, guilty, 2. She has been innocent. So everyone, congratulations, Goldilocks. You are free to go.
That was fun, everyone. Good
Fantastic.
job to everyone for your participation. It was hilarious at some points, and some of you were getting really serious. So it was a lot of fun. It was nice to have all the Brunswick members here to Kennebec Valley, which in the beginning we didn't introduce any of them. And we have a couple of other people who are not from either club. So since we have time and we did schedule this till 7:30, let's just quickly go around the room and say who you are, what club you're from. And I will start with
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks. Take it away.
Hello. So I'm obviously Ivana Cookson. My home club is Kennebec Valley. And I am your Division B director. I'm so excited to be Goldilocks. It was so much fun.
Thank you. Do you want to call on him, Angela, or do you want me to?
No, go for it.
All right. Blue the Bear.
Yeah, hey, Baloo the Bear, also known as Sean Maycomber. I'm with Durigo Leaders Toastmasters, as well as I do Moonlight with Kennebec Valley. Although the moonlighting's it's been a while. I hope to reconvene that like the next meeting. So this has been awesome. Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you. And the Bear family.
Yeah, this is all the bears here in Montana. I'm with Kennebec Valley Toastmasters and joined back in Maine, and this was a really fun time. Thanks so much. Oh, my name is James. My name is James Crosby.
And could you be any relation to Bill Crosby, James?
That's right. That's right. Why don't we send it over to Bill Crosby? He is my father.
My pleasure to be your
Faja.
father. What a curveball, and congratulations to the defense. My name is Bill Crosby. I'm with KVTM, and I am serving currently as club president. Very honored to do so. And congratulations to a well-staged defense with some lovely curveballs. The storm, the seeking shelter in a hostel, the picture at the end that put it over the top, and stacking the deck with the Bears testifying for the defense. My God, it was a tsunami. Well done. And it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. How about the wolf? Not the big bad wolf, but the other wolf. Ken, introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, what club you're with. Turn your mic up though.
The big bad wolf. That's what you're asking. All right.
Yes.
So yes,
Introduce yourself.
Big Bad Wolf, otherwise known as Ken Voorhees. I am the secretary of the Brunswick Toastmasters Club. And I have to agree that map, Melissa, was the clincher. I love that map. Very nice job.
You're a wolf in rabbit's clothing.
I am a wolf of a different sort, aren't I?
Let's hear from the lion. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Sheila White from the Brunswick Toastmasters Club, and I joined just a couple of months ago. I want to say that I was really, really impressed with the prosecution and the defense attorneys. Beautiful job.
Thank you very much. And let's see, Gretel.
Hi, I'm Jody Jewell. I'm with the Brunswick Toastmasters. And I have to say, Bill and Melissa, you both did a fantastic job. It was very good. Everybody did a great job. All these little curveballs, you never knew which way it was going. I didn't know what I was going to say. So it was really fun and very, very funny. So thanks for allowing me to be a part of it.
Thank you for being here. And Toto, make sure you have that translator on.
Well, I'm Beth Rhinelander from KVTM, and thought I was going to be merely an observer this evening. So please jump in with a little role. So this has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And the bad wolf.
I'll be having a talk with my husband. He needs to be much worse. This is Greta Heimgartner. I'm with KBTM and the main thing.
Thank you, Greta. And Little Red Riding Hood.
Good evening, friends. Melissa Hartz from Kennebec Valley Toastmasters. I'm serving as secretary this year. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
And Tina, whatever juror number you were.
Good evening, everyone. Yep, member of Kennebec Valley Toastmaster. My first trial meeting, very fun. I will take one thing here. The Bears never said, even though there was a map of how close the house are, they never said anybody else got confused on which house they were going into. I'll leave it at that. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Tina. Juror number 8. That would be you, Janet.
Sorry, don't know my numbers. I'm Janet Larry Prowse. I am the president of Pine Tree Toastmasters. I grew up in Maine. I've lived in Delaware for a very long time, and I belong to 2 clubs down there. And one of my club members is juror number 5.
And we'll go to juror number 5. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Andrea Powell. I am in District 18 from the Greater Newark Area Toastmasters. And for this year, I'm serving as the treasurer. I had a blast this evening. I'm going to let you know I'm going to steal this idea. I'm telling you up front, I'm not hiding. I'm going to steal it. I'm telling you right here on not July 15th, but November the 28th, 2023.
Thank you very much. Juror number 7, Laura.
Hi, everybody. Laura Bailey, I'm president of Brunswick Toastmasters, and kudos to all of you, defense and prosecuting attorneys. You were just priceless. And I loved how everybody just brought their own personality and just a little bit of yourself into your part. It was really, really fun to watch. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Juror number 6.
Hi, I'm Lisa Higgins. I belong to both Eco Toasters and Toast to the Mid-Coast. And you guys are awesome. You guys always are. So excellent job to both the defense and the prosecution. Excellent job, everyone.
Thanks, Lisa. Juror number 4.
I will speak as juror number 4. I have some comments here. I didn't hear any mention of, in all the testimony that was presented, I didn't hear any evidence or any mention of any signs saying do not enter or keep out. It seems that Mama Bear delegated the responsibility of locking the door to Baby Bear, and I guess Baby Bear just shirked that responsibility. The lion said there was no evidence of malicious intent. Goldilocks' testimony said that the mat said welcome, so welcome means welcome, I guess. She said that she knocked on the door, but nobody answered. And if the door was unlocked, it couldn't possibly have been breaking and entering, possibly unauthorized entry. But the most unforgivable oversight in this entire trial was that no witness was sworn in. There was no bailiff to swear anybody in.
Oh, thank you very much for your observations. And will you tell everyone who you are and where you're from?
I am Bruce Pine. I'm a DTM in District 31. That's Eastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island. I've been a Toastmaster for 30 years. I'm currently only a member of one club that happens to be an advanced club, Advanced Orators Club number 3345. I am the sole remaining active paid member of, I was a charter member from 29 years ago. I'm the last one left. And I'm proud to announce that our treasurer, Stefano McGee, just happens to be second vice president in all of Toastmasters. So it'll be great to watch him advance one year at a time to international president 4 years hence.
Thank you very much. Juror number 3.
Hi, my name is Michael Aaron. I am the treasurer of the Keene Toastmasters Club, and I'm the one who gave Olivet the idea for the trial meeting. You folks hit it out of the park. I did the trial of Goldilocks, but you guys just took it over. I also did another trial. We tried Jack and the Beanstalk for the murder of the giant. So
That could be coming up next in our future.
and I have to say the defense attorney put enough of a doubt in this juror's mind that I could not vote guilty.
Thank you very much. Cito, tell everybody who you are, where you're from.
Yeah, Cito Cruz, Kennebec Valley Toastmasters. I'm kind of disappointed because why didn't they use Chinese food instead of porridge? That would be more delicious instead of porridge, you know? I mean, or at least a pad thai, anything more exotic than porridge. So anyway, I love it so much. I'm going to use it I have a dinner every Friday for Colby students, and I'm definitely going to steal this and use it. Thank you.
That'd be fun. Mom, unmute yourself. Bottom left corner. And if you can't, I'll tell everybody who you are. Well, juror number 1 is Jeannie Davis, Kennebec Valley Toastmasters. And there she is. She's unmuted herself. Take it away, Mom. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Jeannie Davis, and as you already know, my daughter is Donna Jean, and I have laughed more tonight than I have in a long time. I think everybody was terrific. I'm sure that I would not be able to do what every person tonight has done. It's just wonderful, and I'm loving every minute of it. And I thank you.
Thank you. And could we hear from the defense attorney? Yay!
Hi, everyone. I'm Melissa Boyd. I'm a new member to the Brunswick Toastmasters, and I think this is the most I've spoken since I've been a member. So this was an exciting role for me. I actually spent a lot of years as a lobbyist in both DC and in Augusta, and a lot of time in the courtroom. And I really love to get up and just impromptu speak passionately. And I did ask for this role tonight, by the way. So thank you for trusting me with this role. And I had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the person who kind of put this all together with Cecilia is Olivet, who had to do a very important errand earlier, well, during the beginning part of the meeting, and we're all a team, so we stepped in. So Olivet, tell the people who you are.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming and participating and making this a successful event. I am so sorry that I missed the real thing, but someone was kind enough to record it, and you bet your bottom dollar that I am going to watch it. Michael, thank you so much for the idea. Cecilia and Laura, thank you for jumping on the bandwagon. I couldn't have thought of all of the wonderful things that all of you put into making this event a success. Thank you from the very bottom of my heart. It's better than I ever could have hoped for. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Olivet. And before I turn it over to Angela and we take a family photo, I am DJ Tershon, member of Kennebec Valley and Pine Tree Toastmasters and Dirigo Leaders and 2 other clubs as well, because I collect them. I'm also District 45 Public Relations Manager, so you know this will be in January's issue of the newsletter, along with a link to the recording for anyone who might want to watch the entire event. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Laura, Cecilia, and Olivet for all your hard work putting this together. I do want to take a quick family photo before I turn it back to Angela as our district director. And then our presidents can have their final say. We'll be on our way. So on the count of 3, could we all smile? Let's
Everyone
everybody
smile.
smile. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, let's see. Did I do that right? I did. We all look fabulous. Okay, Angela, before you turn it over to Laura and Bill.
This is so much fun evening. I am a member of Kennebec Valley Toastmasters as well as the Main Thing Advanced Toastmasters, and I'm your District 45 District Director this year. And it's so much fun to get out and play. So thank you for showing up and having fun with us. Did we actually give Mr. Bill Crosby an opportunity to speak?
We did. It's now Laura's turn. And
Laura, take it away.
Turn your mic up, Laura.
Sorry, Sheeta, did you have something to say?
Oh, no, I was asking you if you were going to send the picture to all of us, but I took one of my own.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you again, everyone. For Brunswick folks and anybody else who would like to join, our next meeting is next Tuesday nights, and Olivet will be doing Moments of Truth. And we will also be having a conversation about club betterment. So, and that will be at our normal day and time of 6:30, either online or in person in Brunswick. So that's all I have. And anybody else have anything they'd like to add? All right. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate everyone's participation. It's been a fun night.